piece of evidence is from Ron Hagberg over in Florida, and the footage he captured of a lunar eclipse back in January 2018. Alright, so what did Ron actually see? First of all, he captured the lunar eclipse where the shadow began eclipsing the moon from the top down rather than from the bottom up, which most flat earthers seems to think should happen. Secondly, he saw a partially eclipsed moon. When you see a fully eclipsed moon at the same time as the sun peaks over the horizon, it's called a Selenelion. Geometrically, it should be impossible, but due to refraction, it is possible.
Refraction, always refraction.
And we'll get to that in a later video. Ron acknowledges in the comments that his view was obscured, so he couldn't quite see the sun and the fully eclipsed moon at the same time. So not a true Selenelion. Alright, and just as an FYI, timeanddate.com sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset times incorporate approximately half a degree of refraction.
Refraction, always refraction. No refraction when the celestial bodies are just above the horizon. So why do we account for refraction? If we zoom in on a Chicago or a boat or an oil rig, then we have to account for refraction. These things are also low at the horizon.
So how is that possible? Just tilt your head and you'll see this guy see the moon eclipsing from the top down. Alright, so here is an animation that I made in my 3D renderer called PovRay.
Why you need 3D rendering for this crap?
On the left here is a top-down view similar to the one we saw in the first slide. So we're looking down on top of the north pole of the moon. The Earth is over here somewhere and the sun way over here. And as you can see here, it's gradually, or just started to eclipse. Whereas in the view on the right, we have our observer, Ron, at the equator. And this combines both the rotation of the Earth from the observer's position and the movement of the moon towards the peak position. So you've got two movements to take into account in this. All right, so let's have a look what it looks like.
Do you understand? The Earth is moving, and that's why the moon disappearing from your view, idiot. Clown, why you need a 3D rendering program? You can easily do this in 2D, because that crap you show is 2D. Clown. Look, no need for 3D rendering programs, just a couple of layers in Photoshop.
There we go. So you'll see from this top-down view, the moon moving from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, slowly eclipsing half the moon. Whereas on the right, you will see the moon setting from that observer's perspective, simultaneously moving towards the red dot, the perfect alignment, three-body alignment position. So let's run it again. There we go. So this on the right is modeling what Ron would see. An eclipsing moon moving towards the peak position, but also eclipsing from the top down. So hopefully that makes sense now to all the flat earthers that don't get it.
Ah, you want to explain the flat earthers, the impossible eclipse. It seems you don't understand it yourself. So Ron's moon was at 5 o'clock, 5 a.m., about 17-18 degrees above the horizon. Cheaply. Penumbra eclipse begins 4:51, 5 a.m. The moon at an azimuth of 18.19, 18 degrees above the horizon. That would be somewhere around here. And don't say I cannot use that as a horizon, because you all use it as a horizon.
So let's say the altitude angle that we observed was 60 degrees.
No, idiot. This is just under 50 degrees.
Obviously in this diagram, the red dotted line is the observer's horizontal.
So the moon starts to eclipse on the top side, which is impossible. That's why it's called the impossible eclipse. And according to you, the moon is moving into the shadow. But that's impossible according to your model, because the moon travels around the earth. It moves away from the shadow. On your globe model, the moon sets because you're falling backwards, because the earth is rotating. So the moon can never move towards the shadow. Do you understand that? In your globe model, the earth is rotating. And that has nothing to do with the shadow, of course. What a moron.
All right, but what about the second part of Ron's observation? It's that Ron can see the eclipsing moon when the moon is on the other side of this three-body alignment line in the middle here.
Yeah, you mean 18 degrees above the horizon. Do you understand? You drew the moon below the horizon. But the moon for Ron was 18 degrees above the horizon. Fraud.
So we've got Ron here looking at a moon that is 52 minutes before it reaches this peak three-body alignment. So how is that possible?
Yeah, how's that possible in your model? The moon moves away from the shadow and it's still eclipsing more and more. And that can only happen on the flat Earth, of course, because on the flat Earth the moon is eclipsing itself.
Alright, so let's actually do the geometry for that.
No, let's not do that. Let's have a look at the 3D model. The moon in Chipley. 18 degrees above the horizon. And the moon rotates around the Earth. So it can never move into the shadow. Oh look, a flat moon that starts to eclipse on the wrong side. The sun is right behind Earth. And only this part should be lit. And this part should be dark, of course.
So welcome to the third meeting of the National Space Council.
There is no place like space. Space. Fake reporting. Stands for space. It's fake. Space. Space. Or fake news. Space Council. Fake news. Space and fake.
A giant rocket, more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented.
Those alloys are not invented yet because they use oil barrel steel to weld those fake rockets together. Look at this.
Fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch,
made up of a cluster of 8 large rocket engines, which is equivalent to about 32 million horsepower.
Finest watch, you say, Mr. Kennedy? Let's see about that. Let's look the quality of your watch. Look at that wrist bucket. Let's twist it around and put a straight line next to it. You see that? This crap they sent to space, putting astronauts' lives on the line. Oh, look at this. It's totally out of line. It looks shit. Yeah, oil barrels welded together. This must hold the whole construction. Yeah. Achoo! Sorry.
Space. Fake news, folks. The Space Force. Space Shuttle. Fake news. Space Council. Fake news in space. And fake news. Space. False and fake. Space. Fake media. Fake news. The space. Space.
Re-entering the atmosphere at speeds of over 25,000 miles per hour, causing heat about half that on the temperature of the sun.
The dish-shaped heat shield, designed to withstand re-entry heat.
For nearly 1,000 seconds, as the command module smashes into the atmosphere, it will be exposed to heat which can rise to over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
They shield their eyes as they see a replica of their space capsule being subjected to 11,000 degrees of heat, such as it will encounter when it flashes back into the Earth's atmosphere.
3,000 degree heat. 2,500 degrees.
High as 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
4,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Still heat up to 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
2,400 degrees Fahrenheit.
The surface temperature of the ship reaches 10,000 degrees.
20,000 degrees for the Apollo vehicle.
Consists of several layers of laminated fiberglass resin.
During the test, the chamber temperature was raised to 500 degrees.
Is fake news in space and fake in space. Space policy in space. The space security. It's fake.
Look at this, people. There's a hole in the window. And he's gonna stick his camera out. Space shuttle. Can you believe this shit? Let's have a look. Can you believe that? You can even see the brass on his windows, and look at the size of this camera lens and how close he is to the window. There's a hole in his window in the space shuttle. Look at this. Can you believe that? Space Force.
Spacefaring from fake news, though. In space. And fake news. Space Council. Very fake news. In space. So fake news. Space policy. Fake. A space force. False. Space. Fake news. Space Force.
Houston, we have a problem.